Hi everyone, my name is Katie Morgan, and this is where I help professional women break free of paralyzing anxiety, self doubt, and the feeling like they're an imposter so that they can reach their full potential at work and in their careers. So, welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk to you about self sabotage and the 5 steps that you can take to overcome it. But firstly, before I jump into the 5 steps, let's look at what self-sabotage is. So sabotage is destroying or undermining something, and it's often done in a covert way. So self-sabotage is when we direct these unhealthy behaviors and destructive behaviors at ourselves, and sometimes it can even be a form of self-harm. One of the biggest signs of self-sabotage is procrastination. I think we can all relate to procrastinating, but if you're consistently doing it, if you've got start projects and never finish them, you feel that even when you know you need to do something, you keep putting it off and putting it off. Or maybe you dream of doing something really great in your personal life and just never get round to doing it. This is a huge sign of self-sabotage. And it's always driven by our negative self-talk. So, whether you're telling yourself, I'm inadequate or I'm not worthy of success, I can't do that, I don't deserve that, if I start, I'll probably fail. These are all examples of how we can be talking to ourselves that ultimately sabotage ourselves. So recognizing self-sabotage is a huge part of that. And it's important because the self-sabotage in itself can reinforce those feelings of not worthiness, not being good enough, which ultimately are not productive, they're not helpful, and you really need to address them. So the main reason that people self-sabotage is just a huge lack of self-esteem. This can come from many different causes, but the effects are always the same. Not feeling good enough, not feeling like you can start something. Maybe you don't believe that you deserve success, maybe even hating yourself. And the negative self-talk is really the fuel on the fire of self-sabotage. So this is really something that we have to look out for. So here are my 5 steps to overcoming self-sabotage. So step 1 is to recognize your self-sabotaging behaviors. A huge part of this is becoming conscious of what's going on, why you're doing something, when you're doing it. So really start to pay attention to what exactly are you self-sabotaging? Is it that you're turning up to work late every day? Is it that you're always putting things off until tomorrow rather than just getting them done today? Where is it where is it appearing in your life? Become really conscious of this and become really conscious of the negative self-talk that surrounds this. Often it can be really subtle, and actually you really have to pay attention to see where it's coming from. Think to yourself, when you recognize that you're saying something to yourself, so for example, I'm not good enough, like where is that voice coming from? Is it in front of you? Is it behind you? Maybe it's just behind a tiny little whisper behind your shoulder, which means it's very subtle, and you really need to pay attention to what you're actually saying to yourself. So this is a really, really good start, and where everyone should begin, just paying attention, seeing what reoccurring patterns are coming up. And the aim is to become just super clear and really conscious of what's going on here. Step 2 is understand the emotions and the feelings that are going on and leading to this self-sabotaging behavior. So quite often in our modern world, we're very, very, very disconnected from our emotions and our feelings. So it's really important to take some time, and this might not be easy at first. So you might want to take some time by yourself, lie in your bed, just really connect with what are the emotions and what are the feelings that are coming up for you here. Then step 3 is to spot the belief that cause those emotions. So the way that our mind works is we create beliefs and then we attach emotions to those beliefs. And these beliefs can be positive, but for many people, they're negative. And then the belief creates the feeling creates a self-sabotaging behavior, and then it reinforces that belief. So it's a vicious circle down. So we really need to kind of intervene here. And when we understand the belief that's going on, we can intervene and we can try and change it, and we can kind of think a bit more rationally, think a bit more logically, give ourselves alternatives. So I'll give you an example. Maybe you are turning up to work late every day, and that's getting you into trouble with your managers, and they're asking, what's going on, and you just can't seem to get yourself to work on time every day. And maybe it's because the culture's not right for you. And deep down, you know this, in the bottom of your heart, in your gut, you know that this isn't the right company for you, yet you're staying because you have a belief that, say, for example, you've only been there 3 months, you've got a belief that if you change jobs too often, it's going to look bad on your CV. So you're staying in this job because you have this belief, and then these self-sabotaging behaviors coming up and actually making your work life more unenjoyable. But if you ask yourself, where did this belief actually come from? Does it come from you, or does it come from society? Is this actually a helpful belief if the company that you're in is toxic and the culture isn't right? Would it not be better to put your energy into finding a company that you want to work for years and years and years, and you don't have to worry about job hopping, than staying in one and making yourself miserable and continually sabotaging yourself? So, it's about really trying to be analytical about what's going on here and recognizing what's happening. So step 4 is to change the words so that they change our thoughts, our behaviors, and our emotions. Again, when we think analytically and we become conscious of all the negativity that's going around here, the negative emotions, behaviors, and the thoughts that are leading to your self-sabotage, you can begin to challenge them. And just by thinking in a more logical, rational way, you can create more positive affirmations or more positive thoughts. There's a great saying, which is, what follows I am, follows me. So I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. Those things will follow you. I can't get to work in the morning. Okay, what about saying, I can get to work, I am good at getting up on time, I am good at getting early. What follows I am follows you. So it can be helpful to jump in at the thought level, and essentially, if you whatever you're saying to yourself that's negative, flip it 180 so that it's positive. What's the opposite of the negativity? And start to create and challenge your assumptions and give yourself some much needed perspective. Last but not least is number 5, develop self-supporting behaviours. So once you've identified and begun to think more rationally about your self-sabotaging behaviours, you can start to rebuild your self-esteem. So, maybe think about taking, for example, your goals. What could you say to yourself that is encouraging and positive? Maybe think about what other options you have. Is there an alternative, or is there more than one way to achieve your goal? What about building your self-confidence by setting and achieving smaller goals that will lead up to the bigger goal that you want to accomplish? Work here with trying to find stuff that's going to support you, is going to be rational and kind towards overcoming the self-sabotage that you have for yourself. So, maybe, for example, you might say to yourself, even though I can't complete this project on time, I know I have enough resources and skills to get me through. When we tackle things and we look at things from different perspectives, it can really help in defeating these self-sabotaging thoughts and behaviours. So there were my five tips to overcome self-sabotage. I hope you find that helpful, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much.